Hello and welcome to our coverage of the first ever UCI mountain bike cross-country marathon World Cup round from here in the Czech Republic. It's time to go racing.
I think it will be a pretty conservative race at the start. I mean, it is 120 kilometers. I'm going for the win. I think we're all here for the win. Nobody's here to participate.
I think the technical descent with the rock garden, that's the key point of the race, and it's maybe a bit tricky today because it's wet, so we'll see.
It's a fast track, it's very long, so just try to stay in the front group as long as possible and push hard.
The racers would take on a colossal 120 kilometres of racing across two loops of a course which would centre around the Vysočina arena a couple of hours east of Prague. 1,166 vertical metres of descending awaited across a flat-out day of cross-country racing. The rain clouds and helicopters gathered as the world's best cross-country marathon racers assembled. Tensions rose as they waited on the start lights on the first ever UCI mountain bike cross-country marathon World Cup. Despite the huge day ahead, the elite men's race left the line at a furious pace. There was drama right from the start too. Oskar Muiznieks, a Latvian, snapped his chain at the very first corner. Just 5 minutes later, the women's race got underway. By the time they got to the technical assistance zone, the elite men's race remained tight, but the razor-sharp rocks awaited. As the pack turned the corner to head back towards the Vysočina arena, there was still a large group at the front. Wout Alleman was looking strong, but the massed ranks of marathon superstars were breathing down his neck. After the first loop, a colossal 60 kilometres of racing, the top 10 remained incredibly closely stacked. Only 10 to 15 seconds covered them. The 2012 Olympic gold medalist Jaroslav Kolhavi was out in front of the men's, much to the delight of the home fans. He led the way from his compatriot Philip Edel and Tiago Ferreira. The women's racing was equally tight. The lethal rock gardens caused problems across the field. After the first lap, the women's race looked like this. UCI World Cup cross-country hero Eva Lechner led the way from Katarzyna Sosna and Jimsiewicz. In the second loop, Wout Alleman attacked and it provoked a reaction. The pack had no choice but to give chase. Aleman dug deeper and deeper. He looked strong, but biting at his heels were Fabian Rabensteiner and Simon Stibjan. Not too far behind him, battle still raged. The women's race remained a tightly knit affair. Despite a crash that injured her right leg, Leia Niemcevich was charging hard. She was out in front. Katarzyna Sosna, Janina Vist and Irina Luchosvab gave chase. Luchosvab put down the power on her way into third place. There was to be a huge sting in the tail. On the last climb of the day, Wout Aleman was out of the race. Just 10 kilometres short of the finish, his race would end with a crash. Despite the distance and colossal intensity up the final climb and into the stadium, it was anyone's to win. As the women's race headed inexorably towards the arena, it was still Leia Niemcevich in the lead. Just the smooth man-made berms remained. Fabian Rabensteiner exploded in the Vysočina arena at the head of the race. Looking over his shoulder, he knew that even after nearly 120 kilometres of racing, he only had one option left open to him: attack. Rabensteiner did it. He crossed the line, winning the first UCI mountain bike cross-country marathon World Cup in the process. It was a hugely tight race, with Nicolas Samparisi coming in second and Simon Stibjan in third.
I could manage to save some energy in the second part of the race because my teammate was in front alone, so I can stay only on the wheel, save energy. In the last kilometer I go full gas and I'm super happy. Yeah, we know that this course was perfect for Wout, so was also feeling really strong. So he attacks really far from the finish, so a good gap. But then I don't know what's happened at 10 kilometers from the finish line, so he was stopped there. So I think he's crashed or something like this. I hope he's okay.
After a staggering display of resilience, battered and bloodied, Leia Niemcevich won the bike race. Katarzyna Sosna was second, and third place went to Irina Luchoswab.
After the first loop, I just felt that the other women were playing games kind of. I was kind of frustrated that the race was going slow and I didn't want to ride a road race, you know. I wanted to have a real challenge here. In my mind, I always go all in. And when you asked me before a race which one I'm going to be, I said I'm going to be first. I'm not scared of failure, so that's what I did after 60 kilometers.
After a tough day for all the cross-country marathon racers then, the results looked like this. The Italian Fabian Rabensteiner took the win and wrote his place into the history books in the process. Nicolas Samparisi was second, just ahead of Stibjan. Edel and Ferreira slipped back to 9th and 10th respectively. And, naturally enough, as it's the first round, the championship standings mirror those final results. Rabensteiner has the points leader's jersey. In the women's race then, taking the win, it was Bosnia and Herzegovina's Leia Niemcevich. Sosna was second and Luchoswab was third. Again, the overall title points mirrored the results from round 1. And there we have it then, a brand new age of marathon racing did not disappoint with closer racing than even seasoned marathon observers could have predicted. The marathon of Nove Mesto na Morave, the opening round of the UCI Mountain Bike Cross Country Marathon World Cup, delivered. We'll see you next time at the marathon of the Finale Outdoor Region in Italy. Thanks for watching.